Welcome to Plot Twisted Spicy. I'm Tyler.
And I'm Shawn, and we're here to talk plot twists, questionable life choices,
and what happens when a story invites us to get in between the sheets.
We rate the spice,
judge the twists,
and ask the most important question.
Was it worth the chaos?
Start. This podcast is strictly for the grown and sexy. We talk about mature topics, use explicit language, and dive into some very adult situations with plenty of laughs along the way. Recommended for listeners 18 and older. Listener discretion is strongly advised. If you're still here, fluff those pillows. Let's get between the sheets.
Hi, Tyler. Hi, Shawn.
How's it going?
Good, you?
I'm good. It's Sunday. Not for you guys, but for us. It's recording day.
Tuesday for you, Sunday for us.
Correct. Tired. End of my vacation. I went back to work today after having a week off. I did almost no reading because I spent the entire week with my child, which was awesome.
Yeah.
But I missed my book. And last night at like 9 o'clock, I had to get back into my regular scheduled programming. So like I've been sleeping in my house, me sleeping in is 7.
Yeah.
So I usually get up at 5. So I've been sleeping until like 6:30 or 7. And hanging out with my daughter. My son's been in daycare. And last night I was like, hey, I gotta go to bed at like my normal time, which is asleep by 10 in my house. And so at 9-ish, my husband was like, oh, you don't want to watch an episode of a show? And I was like, I really want to read.
I need you to go away.
Well, I was going away. I was going up to our bedroom because I have a lamp now and like a light. And I was like, do not make me feel bad. Please. I know you've been used to me, but vacation's over and I just need a book.
Give me a book.
Yeah, so I cracked Red Rising.
Nice.
For the first time in like a week and a half. And Chandra is probably so disappointed in me. I'm only on like chapter 10.
What is?
But
it's fine.
Oh well. Anyway, what are you reading? What's up?
So I'm in the middle of a couple different books right now. So I am currently reading Cruel... I'm...
Oh my god, she's turning into an octopus.
I am. So I'm in the middle of a few books right now, and the first book I'm currently reading is called Cruel Summer by Morgan Elizabeth.
Is this like the summer I turned pretty stuff?
No. So have you ever heard of the book 'Tis the Season for Revenge?
I've heard of that. I have not read it.
This is the sequel.
Got it.
This is a sequel to it, and it's very much an interconnected standalone, because the first book was a girl named Abby and her relationship. This one is her friend.
Makes sense.
In the friend group. And there's
Abby
a couple
would have a friend.
There's a couple different ones. Actually, one of the books in the series was a book you were talking about when we were like talking about our reading schedule and stuff like that. The Big Nick Energy.
Oh my god.
That book is a part of that series.
Got it. Okay.
So I read 'Tis the Season for Revenge a few years ago, and I always wanted to try out the second book, and so this is the second one. I'm listening to it on Spotify, so I had to wait. This was the book where in the middle of July I ran out of hours.
What date is yours reset? The 24th?
It's the 24th.
Yeah, mine's the 20th.
So I had to wait for the reset, but I also waited until August to restart this again, because what I like to do is as soon as it's the 24th and the hours roll over, I like to wait and figure out what our book club book is, so that I know if I can only listen to it on Spotify or if I can listen to it elsewhere, if it's available as an audio.
Yeah.
So I wait for that because I usually have our book club book as a priority first. And then if I don't need to listen to it at Spotify, then I listen to the
Sometimes
other
I line up my hours too so that it rolls over into the new month so I can finish a whole book like without having to stop.
Yeah.
I sometimes plan that.
Usually I can figure it out, but I think I finished a book in the month. So I think what happened was I listened to a whole book and then I started this one. And then I just listened to it until I ran out of hours, and then goes over into the next month. But currently I'm at 28% with this one. The average rating for this one is like 3.82 stars, with just over 13,000 ratings and 1,500 reviews.
Sweet.
So I like it so far, but I don't like it as much. Like, I loved the first book, whereas this one I was like, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's the first book that I'm currently reading. Do we want to go back and forth, or do you want me to just go through my list?
Of what?
Books I'm currently reading.
I think only other book I'm reading is Apprentice to the Villain.
Oh, JK.
So you're doing great. So I'll just finish up.
Yeah.
So I'm also listening to Apprentice to the Villain, which is the second book in the Assistant to the Villain series. It's adorable. All about like a lot of yearny pining and cuteness between this like awkward female FMC. And guys, it has been recently pointed out to me by our mutual friend that I'm clumsy. And I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But Chandra insists I'm accident prone, and I think it's a lie. However, I almost fell off my walking pad 4 times last night.
Oh no.
So, Chandra, you might be onto something. Anyway, the main female character in Assistant to the Villain and Apprentice to the Villain is quite clumsy. And I really like her. So, maybe it's not a bad thing.
You fit together.
She's a nice lady, that Evie Sage. That's it. That's everything I'm going through right now.
Perfect.
So you're good. You got the floor.
So the second book I'm listening, actually, I'm reading the physical copy of this. It's The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager.
We were talking about this.
Yes, we were talking about this, and I've only been reading this like at night before bed.
What a good time to read a scary book.
I know. But I'm about 33% into the book, and I'm really enjoying it so far. It is one of those books where I'm just kind of like, oh, I want to read more.
Oh, that's good. That's rare these days.
Especially for a physical book, because I'm finding, and I think it's literally because since I got my Kindle, I haven't been putting it down. So it's been harder for me to read my physical books as well as the audio. So I'm like going between a lot of stuff on my Kindle and audiobooks, so it's harder for me to read the physical books I already have. So I'm trying to make like
time for it.
Trying to be like, I have all these books, I need to read them, and this was one of them, and it's going well for me so far. I'm really enjoying it.
So you're saying it's in the bed zone.
It's in the bed zone.
The zone.
Yeah, it stays on my nightstand. It's not a book that I take with me anywhere. Just because, again, if I want to go out and about and read, it's usually I can throw my Kindle in somewhere, or I can put in my headphones. Mm-hmm. So it's just easier for me to do that for like if I'm at work on my break, then I'll either do my Kindle or an audiobook, and then at home, it's strictly right there.
I'm a fan of the book zones, as we know.
So the other book. So I wrote this morning.
I thought she said I wrote a book. I was very excited.
No, I wrote this morning. So this morning I was in the middle of the Marriage Hacks by Sarah Blue. I was at 51%. I finished it today.
Yeah, but your house is so clean.
Yes. I've been cleaning like crazy and literally just had the headphone in the entire time. I was like, this is what I'm doing today.
I think that's awesome.
And then yeah, we already talked about it, but yeah.
Good work.
So I finished that one. And then the other book that barely into it, but I just started The Tale of the Heart Queen by Nishite Tuli. The book that I've been...
That's my book.
It's her book. I'm only 1% into it though.
I'll take it.
Yeah. But like I literally just started it, and it was one of those things like, I really should be reading this. I really should be reading this. And then you're like, Kelly has the books and she's going to need that book at some point. I was like, I should really read it now.
I wasn't concerned. I just figured if she burned, because our friend Kelly will not read books and then she'll burn through 12.
Yeah.
In a weekend. And you're like, what?
She reads fast.
She's a quick reader. She is a fast reader. When she doubles down into it, she is a fast reader.
Yeah.
So when she was at my house, she borrowed some Spark of the Other Flame series, which I actually haven't read, and this series. So I was just warning you that she may just appear one day and require the book.
And it's the last book. I really should finish it. And I think part of the reason I haven't finished it is I have a hard time if I'm in the middle of a series reading the last book, because I was like, I don't want it to end.
You will want it to end.
I will want it to end.
You will want it to end.
Oh no.
It's worth the read, but you'll be happy when you close it.
You're just kind of like, oh, that mess is over.
A little bit.
Oh no.
like a good way. I think it's one of those books that by the time you get to the ending, you're like, thank God there's no book 5, but I'm happy with it.
Okay.
Like, I don't know how, like, it's not bad. It's just like, it's a long book.
Yeah, it's over 600 pages.
It's a long book.
Yeah,
So
655 pages.
and it's book 4. And the other books weren't like short. I think the second one was the shortest.
Yeah.
So like, it's just one of those series where it's the sense of accomplishment and you're just like, I'm so glad no more coming.
This is the end.
Like, it wraps up.
Yeah, that's good.
I believe you have no questions. And you close the pages.
Alrighty.
We're both looking at it because it's on her nightstand.
It's on my
we
nightstand.
Keep turning our heads that way.
Yep. Yep. The books that the nightstand is now clear. So the only books that are on there are the 2 physical books on my nightstand and then my Kindle.
Yeah, this looks great, guys. Like, you guys really should send a bunch of clapping emojis to this girl because her house is phenomenally clean.
The bathroom is next. Holy crap.
Oh my God, I was just thinking about my bathroom this morning. I was doing my hair and I had, again, guys, I have a 5-year-old and her hair is to her butt and she does her hair all the time. But now I have like caboodles. Is that what those containers are called that kids have? With like, it's like a tackle box for children.
Maybe.
Whatever. Anyway, she's got like 5 different children tackle boxes full of hair supplies and all different like sections. And they take up so much space. And I'm like, I just want to put my hair straightener on. To move all these things, they're plastic. Anyway, I would like to clean my bathroom.
I don't blame you.
I'm saying.
Because our bathroom needs it. That needs the clean. Just like we have a lot of random storage areas in the bathroom, which is nice for the bathroom that size. Like,
it is a big bathroom too.
It's built-in, like it has built-in wall shelves. We have all the drawers and the cupboards underneath the sink. We have a medicine cabinet above our toilet, and like then like a couple floating shelves in the bathroom, and it just desperately need to clear everything out, go through everything, and then put it back
and see if there's things you're not using or.
Yeah, or even things that we have that just need to be used up. Like whether it's like body lotions that are close to the end. I was like, you know what? Could probably just use that up instead of using like a half full one that's already there. Or like our medicine should be okay because I generally the medicine cabinet I go through the most frequent of like looking to make sure nothing is expired, because nothing is worse than needing a Tums or like a Pepto-Bismol and realizing it is like years expired. That is the worst thing. One of the worst things, like having medications that aren't going to work anymore or just nay. So that should generally be okay, but I just want to clear everything out of that bathroom.
Yeah.
Scrub her down and then.
Oh, it's nothing like mopping your bathroom after like gutting it.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't know about you, but that's not a weekly thing at my house.
We used to do every Saturday.
Good for you.
Every Saturday was a cleaning thing, although we've really been slacking lately because it's summer, so we have not been around on the weekends.
I mean, if and when you have children, let me know if you're still doing that.
Yeah.
I will hire you.
If Jake has anything to say about it, we will be doing, right? Well, I think it's just because that's what his family did. He's just like, my mom had like us as a cleaning crew.
When they're old enough.
Yeah.
Yes. My daughter's like loves to help me clean, but that's like started at age 3.5.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the early days.
The early days. But
put little scrub pads on your crawler. Anyway.
Have you seen it? I've seen it a couple times where the babies have their little cushions on top of the Zumba, and then they're laying or sitting on the Zumba.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and I think
baby's
you mean
helping.
Roomba, but yes.
Yes, sorry, Roomba. Not
baby's doing Zumba.
Just kidding. Zumba is a workout. I'm talking about the Roomba.
Very cute though, either way.
But yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's my life update.
I like it. Good to know. I feel like I haven't seen you much. I was off for a week, so I kind of like disappeared off of the face of the earth to write a novella and just hang out at home.
Be with the fam.
Yeah, it was nice. I wish it was longer, honestly, but that's next summer. Next summer we'll take more time off.
There you go. Vacation from the vacation.
Yes. Well, welcome to plot twist is spicy. Today we are going to do a book review. So for anybody listening, this book is a spicy novella. So it's Of Shadow and Soul by Cleo Calloway, and anything from here forward is either going to be 18 plus content or spoilers. So if you haven't read the book, it's available online. You can get it as an audiobook. You can get it on, I think it's on Kindle Unlimited. You can find it. It's a very quick read. It's only like 91 pages. Feel free to go read it, come back, have a listen. We'd love to hear your opinions. And just a quick reiteration, everything is potentially 18 plus content from here forward.
Yes.
We'd love to chat with you on a mini-sode or some other place, but yes. Anyway, so this book by Cleo Calloway only had 11 ratings and 7 reviews on Goodreads.
Yeah.
But that's because it's brand new.
Like, it just came out a couple months ago, like January.
And I don't know if she did ARC readers, because that's quite like a low number if she had ARC readers. But it does have a 4.27 average rating. And it came out January, actually. So that's actually kind of late. So go read it, guys. Give it some reviews.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a quick read of the book description, aka the synopsis. Don't know why I did that. All right, guys. In the darkness, he waits unseen. In the silence, she learns the sound of his desire. Psyche is the most beloved mortal in the realm, worshipped for her beauty, desired by princes, envied by queens, but admiration is not the same as love. And when a prophecy demands she wed a monster no man dares name, she is left alone on the mountain peak, awaiting her fate. Eros, god of love, was never meant to fall himself. Sent to curse her, he falls for her instead. In the darkness of a palace with no escape, they find each other by voice, by breath, by ache that refuses to ease. But love without sight cannot last, and trust once broken demands a price even gods may fear to pay. What follows is the journey through fire and shadow, where soul meets longing and love remakes them both. Steamy, lush, and darkly romantic, Of Shadow and Soul is the third novella in the Cleo Calloway's mythic Passion series, an epic of gods and mortals, desire and destiny for fans of scorching romance and myth retellings that aren't afraid of the shadows. Damn, that's a good description.
I like it.
Just need to sit in that for a moment. Oh, cha-cha.
Again,
Cleo, like,
she knows how to write.
she really does. And I just was I'm always impressed with her writing. This book was better than her second book, I think.
Yes.
I think that Aphrodite's book was nothing compared to this.
Yeah. So for me, it was like, I was a little worried at first when I first started reading, and then I was like, oh no, this is great.
Yeah, and I will say, so like my first impression going into this, which I know is your section, I got excited. I just thought this was like a beautiful mistake turned love story.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you go. It's your turn. I'm going to start talking. I'm so excited.
But yeah, so yeah, my first thought of the book was just kind of like, okay.
That's it. That's the problem. It's good.
It's good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. Again, when I first started, I was a little worried that it was going to be a little too similar to the last book, just because it was kind of similar in the sense of like the obsession and everything like that, rather than being seen as a person kind of thing. And I was just kind of like, oh my goodness, is it going to be the same story? And it wasn't. And I was like, oh, thank God.
Right.
I was like, I really did enjoy the second book, but I just didn't want almost the same story twice in a row, if you know what I mean.
Well, when you go with the same author, there's a risk of that.
Yeah, so that's what I thought was going to happen, and I'm like, once is okay, but twice, I'm like, but it was not, and I'm really happy about that. Anyway.
I was worried about that, though, as well, because I didn't love the way that Aphrodite
know.
was written in the last story, and this book feels like it was written before before Aphrodite meets.
So that was my question. I had a note in here, and I was just kind of like, whereabouts is this in Aphrodite's story, just because of how she is in this story versus
with Adonis.
So I was gonna ask you if you knew, or if like this was just like or if this is supposed to be like before, or if this was just kind of like
My assumption is that it's before, only because she's living with Adonis
Yeah.
in the end of her book.
that's kind of that was my assumption too, but I didn't know if there was like a thing where she just heads back up just to do this stuff and then goes back
I mean,
down.
maybe she's quite like, I wouldn't say vengeful, but like it didn't feel like the personality she had in her story.
Yeah, that's kind
Whereas
of how
like
I
when
felt
in
too.
her story we were like, yeah, that's Hades.
Yeah,
When he was brought into her story, I was like, oh yeah, that's still Hades.
it didn't feel like the same person.
No, it didn't, which is why my brain thinks it's maybe before. But it's still weird in the timeline.
Yeah.
For the way she wrote them, you'd think it would be after.
Well, when did the second one come out? Probably, but it would have been before. So she probably thought about went from this one, and then she was just kind of like, oh, this would also be a good story, but just maybe it wasn't as planned out which one she was going to do next, maybe?
I don't know.
Oh, anyway.
Cleo, let us know.
But that was just more so like the question I had is like, whereabouts this in the timeline for Aphrodite, just because it was so different. But anyway.
Moving on.
So this book starts off with our main character Psyche, and she's basically walking home, but at first when it says that she's walking, she's like, I'm walking and I fear a bell, and like I don't like the sound of the bells. And I was just like, are you getting married? Like, are you walking down the aisle? That was like the first thing
I was thinking church bells.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I automatically was just like, are you walking down the aisle? Like, what's happening?
Just opened up on a wedding.
Because again, I know nothing about these things. So like for some, like maybe you were just kind of like, no, and I'm just kind of like, what?
Totally.
But so she's walking, basically she's walking home, and she is uncomfortable with the sound of the bells, and you come to find out that the bells are actually coming from a temple, but it's not Aphrodite's temple, it's like a temple for her as a human, and like offerings are being given to her. And you can tell that like she's just very uncomfortable about it, and that she's just kind of like, why are people like wanting to offer things to me? And it's because of how beautiful she is. Basically, she's like almost otherworldly type of beautiful. And so while she's walking home, she's seeing all those and she's uncomfortable with that. But then also she runs into her sisters that are basically talking trash about her.
Yeah, her sisters are very petty and jealous.
Yeah.
Very.
And because Psyche is so beautiful, she's trying not to stand out, so she dresses very modestly. Like her sisters are dressing in gold and like trying to stand out more, whereas she's trying not to, but it kind of makes her stand out more, is what it kind of seems like.
The way that they are acting,
Yeah.
They basically make fun of her for not dressing the way they do.
Yeah. And so, yeah, they're basically talking shit and being like, oh, like she's trying to gain more attention for dressing modestly and this, that, and the other, when really it's just like she's just being herself, and she's trying to like not stand out as much because she already stands out so much.
And she doesn't believe that she's like a deity. She doesn't like that this is happening. She's a princess as well.
Yeah.
Which you don't really know.
I didn't realize that she was a princess in this book.
Yeah, they don't really explain it, but she's the king's youngest daughter, I believe.
Yeah, it sounds like she is, like, I did get like she was kind of the baby of the family. It kind of seemed like.
I believe that's true, yes.
But so talking about her attention, but then it also alludes to that she is getting so much attention that a priestess is like giving out warnings about the gods being angry, and like because they feel like they're being cast aside and stuff like that. Lordy be, I wrote down so much. Why did I write down so much?
Pinpoint, points.
Points.
She's such a good note taker. It's like really just I will never keep up with this.
It's kind of ridiculous how much I write down. But basically, so like there's a mention of this priestess giving a warning about like the gods feeling like they've been cast aside because, again, a human should not be having their own temple with their own offerings, basically, at that point.
Psyche doesn't want.
Yeah, she doesn't want any of that. She doesn't want the attention. She wants to be seen and she wants to be heard, but she wants to be heard
As a
and seen
person.
as a person, and not as like this great, beautiful, like otherworldly thing, which is basically the gods. And she doesn't want to be treated as a god. She wants to be treated and seen as a person. And she feels like she doesn't get any of that. And she doesn't feel like if she were to speak, no one would listen to her because they don't care about what she says. They just care about what she looks like, basically.
Yeah.
But she gets home and ends up actually finding her mirror that is cracked. And it's like the first time she's looked at herself in the mirror for a very long time. Like I honestly, I think it's been like a couple weeks is what she says. And then while she's looking in the mirror, she says, I am more than the skin. I want to be seen. And I was just like, oh, I feel for you, girl. Like she just, again, she doesn't want any of this. She just wants to be a person.
And there, I think like she tries to speak, but people like it's inferenced or told like she used to try to talk, but nobody listened.
Yeah, so
like,
she just doesn't anymore.
Yeah. So she kind of has like been going like folding more into herself because of this.
Yeah. And then as she's doing this, she ends up feeling like it says that there's like a shift in the air. So like she's like something feels different, something feels off, and then ends up just lying on the floor with her broken mirror.
And goes to sleep.
And goes to Betty Bye. And then we move forward to, we get introduced to Eros. Sorry.
Yeah, Eros.
We get to introduce to Eros, and who he's the
son of Aphrodite,
yeah.
and he is Cupid for all intents and purposes. He's the god of love, and he has the arrows.
Yeah. But he is summoned by his mother, who is Aphrodite, who we just read about in the previous book. And like I said, she is much different in this book than she is in the previous one, in my opinion. And I think you felt the same way.
Yeah, it didn't vibe for me.
Yeah, it was interesting. But
more like vengeful, wrathful god, and not woman who's been seen as a woman and truly in love.
Yeah. So that's why it's kind of seems like this is before and not after. But basically, Aphrodite asks him to punish Psyche for her beauty, and is basically Aphrodite is feared of being forgotten, which again is not the same as the previous book. And suggests that a terrible beast that is the opposite of her, causing her to just like unravel, to be connected with, basically, is my understanding.
So what basically Aphrodite is telling Eros, like, you need to teach this girl a lesson, which Cleo could have been more clear about this, but it's the same thing as the original story, which is in the original story, she's super vengeful and she tells him to make her fall in love with a pig. Like straight up. Okay.
Because
fall in love with a pig.
It says a beast opposite of her, but I was just kind of like, what beast?
Correct. Yeah. So it's a little bit, in this, it is a little convoluted. I think she was trying to keep it like more lyrical vibes.
Okay.
But essentially Aphrodite's telling Eros to use his love arrows and strike Psyche so that Psyche falls madly in love with a monster or a beast or an animal. So in the original telling, I believe it's like a pig or a boar.
Something along those lines.
Yeah, and he's like, okay, Mom, I'll go do it.
Yeah. But he has it shows him have it, like, while she's telling him this, he does have kind of an internal struggle about the misuse of his arrows, because he was known for like helping people gently fall in love and all this kind of stuff, but now it's being used as a punishment, which is kind of, again,
she's weaponizing love.
Yeah. And he's just kind of like, he understands why she is fearful, but also is uncomfortable with it. And from there, she senses that he is off about it. And she kind of says, there is a known line between cruelty and mercy. I only ask that you walk it. And I was like, damn, okay.
I mean, it's a good line.
It's a great line.
But she's basically, in this version of the story, she's putting the decision up to Eros.
Yeah.
So she's saying, this little girl needs to learn a love lesson. This is my idea, but you go make the decision and decide how she should learn her lesson
But yeah, he still thinks that this whole situation is cruel, but he is going to do it anyway. And so he actually goes to Psyche while she's sleeping, and he is gonna go shoot her, but he's also like fascinated by her.
Yeah, he sees her sleeping on the floor,
and she's crying
in her sleep.
Yeah, she has tears going down her face and is crying herself to sleep. And so he's just kind of like, something like is just like very interested and is like, oh, like maybe she's not.
He changes his mind essentially. Like he's got the arrow notched and he's going to shoot her, and then he's like, well, no woman of whatever my mom believes would be crying in her sleep.
Yeah.
Like he's like, this isn't wrong. So he goes to unnotch the arrow, but
he nicks himself.
With the arrow.
And I was very confused about that. I was just like, so did he just like nick himself and now he's just madly in love?
Essentially, because like basically sort of like he gets the stirrings of love because of the potency of it.
Yeah.
Because it's a nick, he doesn't have like the full effects, I think.
Because I read that and kind of read it a couple times, and so I read that line a couple times, and I was just like, I need to ask Shawn about this.
From what I understand, like if we're going with the like mythology of it all, yes, he hits himself with the arrow, he cuts himself with this arrow, and he falls in love with her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So he scratches himself while he's looking at her.
Yeah, and but yeah, basically just comes to a realization that she might not be the selfish human that is played out like what his mom thinks and everything like that.
Yeah.
And then it fast forwards to the oracle saying that the gods are angry. The gods are angry. The gods are offended by Psyche's beauty, and they basically have to sacrifice her to the mountains to make her a bride to a monster up there. And she actually feels relief and goes willingly.
She's like, finally, I can just die.
She's just kind of like, I'll just leave. Like, that's fine.
She is so worn down by her own beauty and like the weight of responsibility of just being perfect, even though she doesn't want to be, and everything, that like as she's like walking there, she's just like getting there. As closer she gets to death, she's like, this is so great. I don't have to be worried anymore.
Yeah.
I don't need to talk to assholes. I don't need to take another present. I don't need to be hated, feared, loved. None of this. Let's die.
Yeah. And I read that and I was like, you know what? Fair enough, girl.
Yeah, her life is tough. It's tough.
But like, so she goes up to the mountains and she's just like, you know what? I'm just going to fall asleep here and I'm just going to die at some point and it'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But then she wakes up in a comfy bed and nice clothes.
And she woke up naked. She's probably in nice clothes.
Yeah. When I read it, I thought it said comfy bed and nice clothes.
I'm sure it did. I think I'm just swine as a person. I'm like, obviously she's naked.
Obviously she should be naked in this book.
Come on.
And so she wakes up in a comfy bed, nice clothes, and it just so happens to be Eros's palace. And he never brings any, like, it's been centuries since he's brought people there. So it's actually Eros that brought her there. But obviously she doesn't know that at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But...
And the palace itself is actually created by Eros. So it's not real.
Yeah.
It's a fictional place that he's created, but it feels real. But it's one of those places where, like, if she thinks it will happen. Like, if she wants a cup of tea, it will appear. Like, if she's thirsty, a glass of water. Like, it's very much like, I can't think of the name of it. Continue.
But it was kind of reminiscent of me of the first book when like Persephone is walking around and like coming back and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, no. But I thought, but yeah. So she wakes up in this palace with nice clothes, but she ends up exploring the place until she basically gives up and she's like, I'm heading back to bed.
Yeah, she walks around all day.
Yeah.
And doesn't speak. She like talks to like a plate or something just to hear her own voice.
But yeah, there was like some echoing, like she's like, there are like some form of like whispers in the walls, but like it's not loud enough in order for her to hear anything very audible, but she senses like.
And I think that's to portray the house's sentience.
Yeah.
Like, it's clearly like it will give you everything you want kind of vibes.
Yeah.
It's like a very sentient house. Yeah. Castle.
But yeah, she ends up, because she has been exploring all day, she basically gets tired, gives up, and heads back into the bedroom. And basically, while she's in bed, she is she gets startled by a voice, and it ends up being Eros. And did he tell her to close her eyes?
So this is where it starts to get a little wish-washy back and forth as we're reading it, because essentially there are parts where I think he's invisible and her eyes are open, and then there's parts where he asks her to close her eyes.
Yeah. And this was a part where I couldn't, because all I see is that her eyes are closed, but I couldn't remember whether he asked her or if she just had her eyes closed.
I believe I believe he does tell her. There's like a back and forth where he basically says like to keep her eyes closed.
Yeah.
Because if she looks at him, she will no longer see him or something.
Yeah. But yeah, she had her eyes closed, but like she did feel his presence, and they start having this exchange, and then she asks like, "Am I like, are you the one I am to marry?" And he's just kind of like, "I'm the one that brought you here." And then she's just kind of like, "Will you keep me?" And then he responds of, "If you wish." And she fucking loves that part. She's like, "If I wish."
I can stay if I want, but I can go if I don't.
Yeah. She's like, "I have a choice," kind of thing. And I was just kind of like, you know what? Fair enough. You're not really given a choice for for many things. And then after like you see like her internal being like, "Oh, like I have a choice in this." Cool. Then he touches her pulse, which is very scandalous.
Yeah, her wrist.
And she asks if she can, basically asks like, can I see you? And he's like, "No."
Yeah, he basically says absolutely not.
Nay, 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 I say. And and then so yeah, after like asking if wanting to see, he says no. Psyche ultimately starts asking him to stay. And he has this like internal struggle of that basically I should go, but he also has the desire to stay with her. And then also is just like he wants to be and he is also like reflecting on her because like part of his desire of her is that he understands that he's just kind of like, oh, she just wants to be seen as a person. And the fact that she went so willingly into exile with like a straight back and just like was like, yep, this is my fate. Just kind of really intrigued him, like,
well, resonated with him.
Yeah. Just he felt it more for her because of that. And while he's having this internal struggle, he's also like thinking about like he's hiding himself from her because he also feels like a creature, but then he also wants, but then it kind of goes back and forth in his internal struggle for a little bit. So it's just kind of like he's hiding himself from her and he feels like a creature, but he also wants to like be like open and bare to her, but also his wings are for his divinity and she is just like human kind of thing. So he's just kind of like trying to figure out what he does there. And then while he's having this internal struggle, she basically like takes out her hand and is like and like offers her hand to him, and he just like melts by just the simple offer of like her hand to try after asking him to stay. And I was just kind of like, oh, that's nice.
The visual. Can you stay, please?
I know. That's what I pictured too. I'm not gonna lie. But again, like while he's offering the hand, there's still more of the internal struggle being like he's afraid to let her see him because to see him as unsafe. And then
he is of like the perspective that he is a monster.
Yeah, like fully, like it's just fully. He's just kind of like, yeah, I'm a god, but also like I'm like this terrifying thing to a human, which I'm like, okay, interesting. And yeah, so he ends up staying, but then it fast forward to psyche. And basically during the day she goes around and explores the castle, and then at night she comes back to the room and waits in the dark for him. And just like anticipating him like just showing up. But
And he does.
And he like, she knows exactly when he shows up. She feels his presence right away before he even says anything. And she's basically like, you came. And he's like, of course. And he's like, I thought I scared you. And she's like, you didn't really. So like she's scared, but like she's like it's almost like an excited scare for her, and she's like excited.
Like, she's scared of her feelings.
Yeah.
And she's scared of how comfortable she is without ever seeing him.
Yeah.
Because she immediately feels connected to him. And I think that's something that's very interesting is that they like this goes over like days, right? And it's very slow progression with them physically.
Yeah.
Like the first night, he basically holds her pulse point, and that's like it. And then the next day, and then the next day, and then the next day.
It's very much in like the way the book is written, how like with every time he stays, it just kind of leads up. It's very much like, okay, like am I able to do this a little bit more? What are you comfortable with? It's very much, but it's represented as like of her comfortability and her consent and everything that's happening. And I was like,
he wants her to want him without him like forcing anything.
Yeah.
And he wants her to have choice because he feels like he's never had choices, and he feels that she hasn't had choices or been seen. So he's like very hyper aware of that.
Yeah. But yeah. But but yeah, but like while having this conversation, it ultimately leads to her being like, do you want me? And he responds with, I know. And he's like, I am made of wanting. And she's
like,
just,
yeah, you are.
And she's like, I don't know you, but I want to.
I want you to want me.
And like basically she wants to understand like these feelings and like why, especially like she understands she has these feelings, but wants to understand why. And then especially like when he touches her, like the feeling that she has when she is touched by him, because she's like, I have this feeling low in my belly and I just feel pure ache. Like just whenever he's near me and touches me. And very much about, again, consent. And then this leads to a little bit of touching, a little bit of undressing, a little bit of nipple play, telling her to touch herself, and then he has a nice little taste of dessert. But the thing and then he only did this in this section. I didn't notice it in any other section, but in this part, every time she finished, like he said 1, and then the second time he was like 2. But I didn't hear it any other time throughout the story.
So it's their first time, like this part is their first time being intimate to orgasm.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just a lead up to them, like basically that is them like not necessarily having like sex, but like he's making her come a bunch is basically his goal.
Yeah.
And so you're reading it, we get to as the audience be a part of 1 and 2, but I think that's the lead off because it ends after that, right? It goes into the next chapter.
Yeah. It ends with like after their lovely time together. He tells her to fall asleep, and so she did.
Yeah, she was tired.
Girl was sleepy.
Yeah, she was a sleepy girl.
And then, so, do you have any favorite early moments from this section?
I just because I am who I am, I love that she talked to an inanimate object. I just need to point that out. Like, she at one point, like, her voice, like, just because she hasn't heard her voice, but instead of just like talking, she like directs it at like a plate or something. I can't quite recall, but I thought that was very like silly and like a nice touch for this poor girl who's basically been isolated her entire life.
Yeah.
And now it's sad because she's isolated again, and when it starts, she's like happy to be alone. She's finally feeling like, oh my God, thank you, I'm just like done. In this section, she's like happy, she feels peaceful in the house in this early part.
Yeah.
So like she likes the exploring, she likes the nights together. I really, really liked how affected he was by her.
Yeah.
like reading like how affected he was. I know he's been scratched by his own arrow, but it's working.
Yeah. Well, it was, again, you could, from his like internal perspective, I liked seeing that from him because of his starting to understand her and like the little bit of back and forth with his struggle between like what his mom wants and what he's feeling and stuff like that. I like that. I could feel it through the pages when it was happening.
Yeah, me too.
But I guess for me, for early moments, I didn't necessarily have a specific early moment that I loved at this point per se, but what I found very interesting, again, I found interesting the Aphrodite aspect of it, just because of the stark differences.
That annoyed me.
I just thought it was, again, I was just kind of like, I just kept thinking about it because I was just kind of like, it's just different. So it was just something, not necessarily a favorite moment, but just something that just kept standing out in my head at that moment.
It gave me petty past God vibes, and I was frustrated by that because I thought like each of these stories, basically this big baddie god was learning some humanizing trait, and then hers got taken away from her to be this role, and I thought that kind of sucked.
Yeah.
I guess it was necessary because of the story, because how else would arrows be commanded to do it?
Yeah.
Without Aphrodite, like
without her being there. But yeah, I just thought that part was interesting, and I wasn't.
Yeah, fair enough.
I was questioning the timeline, and that's why it's there. And then also just the fact that, again, because I don't know much about the story, it was the not being able to see Eros with whether it's the eyes closed or the fact that it's pitch black or he's invisible. Like I thought that was, again, another interesting point, and I wasn't sure like how that
I think
that
the author may have messed that up a couple of times as well, because like the way I was reading it, there were a couple of scenes where she's like looking at him. Yeah. But she can't see him. Yeah. And I'm like, it's not that dark. Yeah. So like he's invisible? Question mark? Yeah, but like it's just the concept of her not being able to see him, whether her eyes are open or closed, and I was just kind of like, huh. And so at that point I was like, I wonder where it's going to go from there, because again, I don't know the story. Yeah. Well, for me that's what when we get to my middle section here kind of actually was a little bit more confusing for me. Yeah. But anyway. Yeah. But yeah, that was my thoughts on the early part of the book. Fair, yeah. I'm pretty much in agreement. I actually would like to point out I like both the main characters. Yes. I like both their personalities. I think that they were both written well. I just want to say that because I've been not liking characters as of late. And so I like them both for different reasons. And I felt for Psyche, like in her situation. Yeah. Like it's a difficult thing to write humble, hating your own like looks. Yeah. Because like it can come across very much like how her sisters view her, which is like, oh my God, I'm so beautiful. How dare you? Like it sucks like, being this pretty. Yeah, like, awful. It could be like that, but it wasn't like that at all. It's like a collar around her throat, right? Yeah. Like it's like I am bound by this beauty, and I can't be anything else because of this. And it's so crazy that like my neighbors, my friends are asking me for favors, trying to steal my beauty, like taking a scrap of my cloth to like hope to get a husband. Yeah. Like she's like dealing with all of this, and like it's written in a way that I understood it, as opposed to being like the sisters and being like, you're okay, pretty girl. You're okay. Sucks to suck. Sucks to suck. Poor pretty girl. Yeah. So that I really enjoyed. I didn't think that they described the arrow scratching him very well. Yeah. It was a little like I said, I read it a couple times because I didn't fully, because I was like, what happened there? Mm-hmm. And so that's why I was like in my notes, I was like, ask Shawn. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, and the way I pictured it, and the way I read it in the original story, which I read through Mythos, was like basically has it and it like scrapes him wherever the point is, so, like however he's holding it. Yeah, I think like it's here, right? So as he basically undoes it, it like cuts him. Yeah, that makes sense. He's like, but like the way it was kind of loosey goosey, I fully was just kind of like accidentally shot his foot. Damn it! That would have been very funny.
And I'm like, that's
Lost his big toe.
It's like, definitely that's not how it happened, but like because it was kind of like, and then he nicked himself. It was like, what happened?
Where'd he nick himself there, boss?
And that's where it's just like, ah, damn it, that's my foot.
And I before we like migrate into the middle of the story, the one thing I can't recall, because they are intimate at this stage,
yeah,
is it's in the middle that he teaches her how to give him it. Okay, I had that in mind, but
Yes.
I wanted to, okay.
yes.
Okay, I was like, wait a minute. Okay.
It is in your section.
Perfect. Yeah. So we end off with them like happily partnered and Psyche's fairly happy in her current circumstance.
Yeah.
But as we migrate into the middle, she starts to get like a little bit like antsy, lonely, like the place is too perfect and the quiet that she liked is becoming like this hollow feeling and everything feels too bright or too shiny or too perfect or
yeah.
all of those things are kind of like making her feel walled in. And so her days she doesn't like, but she is enjoying her nights with Eros. And every night their like relationship intensifies. And this is one thing in like Greek stories and Roman stories and any kind of mythological stories that I've read where I am used to a wedding or a marriage having like some sort of ceremony. And in these stories, they basically at some point, just call each other husband or wife. And they're just like, all like, they just like, their bond is more than a ceremony. It just like is a thing. So they become more intimate and have like all of these different types of conversations, but mostly it's physical interactions. And as it progresses, she wants to please him, like he's pleased her. So she basically asks him to like teach her how to give him a blowjob. And he is like obviously incredibly aroused by this.
Yes.
He's like, absolutely, and like teaches her it, and then through that they like consummate their relationship, and she calls him husband at this point. And I actually was like, but you're not married. And then I was like, right, mythology, they're married now. Which I hate. I shouldn't hate it, but I want like a tiny little conversation, like
something. Yeah.
She's just like in bed and she's like, husband. He's like, wife. And you're like,
that threw me
wow.
off, but that did throw me off. But again, I didn't know if that was just like a thing.
It's like a thing that like transcends, like it's their gods and humans. So like a petty ceremony seems like nothing, I guess. But
fair.
And like I guess she married him because she like went off the cliff. And I was like,
yeah,
okay, what a ceremony that was. But yeah, so she sees herself as his devout wife. She sees herself as his partner. She wants to please him. She likes how he pleases her. And so they're having these really good interactions. And then one day she wakes up and realizes there's people there. And sad, stupid Eros.
Yeah.
Like sends her sisters because he feels that she's lonely. And so he sends her sisters up for her. In the original retelling that I read, just for comparison, she asks him to send her sisters. So they belittle her like that, but she doesn't see it. She's like, no, they're my sisters and I love them.
Yeah.
She's very naive. And she specifically asks for them to come in the original story. And he's like,
in this one, she seems like, oh.
She's not like, that's what I'm saying. There's a very stark difference there. Because when they show up, she's kind of like, I don't really know how I feel about you guys being here. You guys are kind of mean to me. So the girls, like, she gives them a tour. They see the place, the opulence, blah, 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 blah. They sit down for like tea, crumpets, snackage, and throughout that, Psyche kind of accidentally tells them she's never seen him, and they like latch on like full claws in to manipulate her because they don't want her to be happy.
Yeah.
In the original story, they actually want her to die. So they do their like sisterly shitty thing and they manipulate her and they're like, well, if you've never seen him, like obviously there can't be trust without sight. There can't be love without seeing your husband. Obviously he doesn't love you, or like tricks her throughout this conversation. And then they leave and she's decided, oh crap, like I gotta look. And it's like, I hate it so much. In the original story, it's very similar what happens, which is technically in your section, because the section basically ends with he comes out, like they have a night together, and the chapter ends with her basically being like, I'm a look.
Yeah.
Like she's in bed and like she can't sleep and she's like, I'm gonna see him. I'm gonna look at him. I'm gonna do it. Chapter ends and you're like, you stupid. Psyche.
Yeah.
Stop. Why would you listen to your shitty sisters that you don't even like? They're shitty people. Whereas in the like Greek mythology, she trusts her sisters. And even though they're terrible, they manipulate her because in the story, they hate the opulence of her life. Like they both have married well, but she's like far beyond everything. She's in this opulent castle with basically dripping in silver and gold. She's still quite modest, but both her sisters are like, of course she got better than us. Let's ruin her life.
Yeah.
And she's like, my loving sisters have such great advice for me. And they tell her how to look at him in the original story, which is like to take a lantern or a candle and like hold it over him to see his face. And it's just different because to me it didn't make sense. Why would she listen to them?
Yeah.
Why would she trust them? So what happens is they're in bed together and it's nighttime. And so she gets up and she goes to look at him. And when she sees him, I think a drop of wax falls on his face.
Yes, it drops on his cheek.
And he wakes up and he's like, how dare you, you've ruined everything, and he disappears. And then the house starts to like crumble and disappears as well. And she basically falls from the house, like a little rocket, just like drops meteor style to the earth. And she is barefoot, her clothing is ripped, and she starts like wandering because she has lost everything. And she is super upset and guilty about it. She is devastated by losing Eros. She realizes who he is, and she's heartbroken. And she eventually comes upon, like after she walks through some places, it's quite a while, she comes upon one of Aphrodite's temples. And she goes into the temple, and Aphrodite just happens to be there, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
But I think that's like she knows, so she shows up. And Aphrodite is like, do you truly love him? And she's like, yes, I do. And she's like, well, she's kind of got that high horse of goddessness. And she's like, well, if you truly loved him, like there cannot be love without trust. AKA, you looked, you dumb bitch.
Yeah.
And Psyche's like, I made a mistake. I want him back. I've really messed up. Like, help me, goddess, please. So Aphrodite's like, sure, if you sort all this grain before the sun sets, then like I'll help you. And so she leaves and there's like this giant, insane mountain of grain. And it goes to like a really extensive, detailed, like her sorting the grain. Like she breaks her fingernails.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty detailed. I felt it. I was like, holy girl, be sorting.
She hurts her fingers, her feet, like basically her body is broken from like all the sorting and stuff like that because it takes so long.
So it's like the last fragments of day are slipping by and she knows she's not going to do it. And then these ants show up and these insects show up and sort all the grains and help her, which does happen in the other story as well.
Interesting. Yeah. I didn't realize that would have been a part, but I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. So they like help her because of her like pure intention or something like that vibe. And they help sort it all. And then Aphrodite comes back and she's like, you're not a lost cause, I guess.
Yeah. And then that's kind of where I start roughly.
Okay, perfect. So my page difference was just different. That's okay. I still remember it. So
perfect.
Yeah. So she sorts all the grains and then Aphrodite is like, tricked you, more to come.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
What was your biggest, do you have a big surprise? I know you know the story.
For me, I think because of the way this retelling was, I was just surprised she listened to her sisters. Like, she doesn't trust them. She doesn't like them. I was also a little confused on how she saw him because the way, like, was it because he was asleep so he didn't have, like, his guard up?
I think so. I think that's kind of what it alludes to, but also he's a god, so you'd think he'd be able to do that even if he's sleeping, you know?
So I think that was just sort of poor writing technique. Again, I was getting confused on why she couldn't see him and why she could. And in my mind, the whole time her eyes are closed or he's invisible. And it was written in a way that I misunderstood that. So I was like, how can you see him now? Wasn't he invisible? But maybe she just had her eyes closed the whole time. And I was just...
It kind of made it seem like her eyes were closed the whole time, or it was just like black.
He was wrapped in darkness, essentially. Anyway, so something about him being in repose or sleeping made it possible for her to see him.
Yeah.
I believe in the the original story, the wax falls on his feathers
Okay.
and damages his wings.
Because, yeah, I think...
he hides his wings in this.
Oh, yes.
She only sees him as a man.
Yeah.
A
But, yeah,
beautiful man.
this time, I think, yeah, it, like, landed on his cheek.
Yeah. I'm almost certain it was on his face.
Yeah.
Because he hides his wings specifically. Like, he doesn't want her to feel them. So she just sees him as a man, but he's, like, asleep in her bed, and she's a dumbass.
Dummies.
Girl be pretty, but dumb.
Character that changed the most at this point in the story.
I think Psyche.
Yeah. That's what I had too.
She goes through the ringer.
She goes through the ringer. Like, she is, like, basically going for what she wants more, even to the point, like, if she were back at home and, like, something like this were to happen, she wouldn't have dared be like, let's take a look. But then also, like, the fact that, like, once she finally, like, got to Aphrodite, she's just like, yeah, I love him. I'm willing to do anything.
Yeah, like
she's
she
advocating for what she wants.
Yes,
whereas
she didn't before.
She wouldn't be able to, or like she could or she couldn't, and everything like that. So it was just kind of like, yeah, girl.
I agree. I think she like really went through huge change. Like she lost everything and realized the only thing she cared about was having him, regardless of who he is or what he looks like.
Yeah.
And she was willing to like basically defile her entire body to like sort an unreasonable amount of grain.
Yeah. I remember you explaining the wax thing. So the trials part was kind of my biggest surprise, because I was like, oh, I didn't know that was a thing. And I was like, cuckoo.
Yeah, I forgot. It is in the original story. I just forgot about it.
Yeah. But like, well, you were just kind of giving me an overview of what happened, especially since you were talking about Electric Idol.
Mm-hmm.
You were telling me about that book and kind of what happened there, or a smidgen of it. So like, I knew kind of about the wax and everything like that. But yeah, seeing the
Electric Idol is a great book, by the way.
Should I read it?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you like the Psyches and Arrows vibe, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing, only he's a bodyguard and she's a plus size influencer.
Oh. Okay, cool. But yeah, just like doing the trials, and also her being like fighting for herself and like fighting for their love, basically.
Well, the whole thing starts with her willing to just basically walk off a cliff.
Yeah.
Because she's just done with the pressure. And now she's like, no, I would like to fight for what I want.
Yeah.
So I think that is a huge change.
I like it.
Me too.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add to the middle part? Your thoughts, feelings?
Aphrodite. She's
off.
Just not the same.
Yeah.
This book should have come first.
Yes.
Like, this should be book 2, and this should end with Aphrodite having some fight with Ares, and they break up, and then we get into book 3, and it would all make sense.
Something like that, or even something that would allude to this was before.
She's far too calm and even-mannered and just like into Adonis. I don't know, just they don't go together for me.
Yeah. It's not like when we saw Hades in the other book and being like, oh, that's Hades.
Yeah. Dude's like, yeah, Persephone would want me to do this. I'll do it.
Yeah.
So I struggled. Funny enough, it was a female character, but
wasn't the main character.
No, I wasn't Psyche this time. Also, Psyche's a cool name.
It's cool.
It's a cool name.
Psyche.
Hi, I'm Psyche.
Psyche. I like it.
Mm-hmm. Anything for you?
I don't think I have anything.
We agree mostly.
Yeah, I think we mostly agree with all the things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. So part 3.
The finale.
The finale. So after finishing Aphrodite's task, she basically stands in front of the throne and is like, her body is like hurting all over. She's basically falling apart, and she's waiting to see like what's next. And Aphrodite basically says, suppose you think passing tasks makes you worthy, and then gives her the next task.
Yeah.
Which her task is to go into the underworld and get a box from Persephone that has some of her, like, part of Persephone's beauty in it. essentially.
Spoiler alert, it's her part of her divinity.
It's her divinity. And asks her to bring it back unopened. Keyword, unopened.
Meanwhile, these people have crossed paths in other books, and none of this has been brought up.
Nope.
Like, she goes down to the underworld and begs Hades to help her out. As far as I knew, her and Persephone hadn't even crossed paths.
No.
But suddenly her and Persephone have this weird deal because Psyche's like, well, I can't just steal from a goddess. And she's like, oh, she knows.
She knows.
She knows you're there to take it. It's fine.
If you tell her that I sent you, she knows exactly what you're looking for.
That was confusing to me. I was like, when did this happen?
Yeah. We were lost in
They
translation.
threw it in there. They were like, it's all good. Anyway, sorry.
Tossed it in there. But Psyche clearly agrees to do it because she's like, you know what? I've gone this far and I want what I want, so I'm going to get what I want.
Yeah.
So, and then Psyche just starts walking, and she basically just keeps walking until she crosses.
Oh, I broke her.
I almost did it again. Crosses the threshold between life and death. Mm-hmm. And while she walks, she starts hearing like familiar voices kind of like taunting her.
Yep.
As she tries to like, and as she's walking, she just tries her best to ignore it. And when she gets to the edge of this black river, a boat is there waiting for her, which is Sharon? That guy.
Yeah, it's Karen, but it's Heron. Yeah.
So he is in the boat, and he actually stretches out his hand, and he's just kind of like, I need something. And she's like, I don't have anything. And then realizes that she has a coin, and she's like, Aphrodite planted a coin on me. Well,
here's a coin.
This seems like a bad idea. Here you go.
He's like, that's all I needed. Thanks.
Gives the coin, gets on the boat, and it just starts moving. Just moves on its own.
Yeah, Heron's a very glidey dude.
He's a glidey guy. But while she's like in the boat, it talks about like when she's on the boat, she sees all like the things, people in the water, basically.
In the sticks.
Yeah, in the sticks. And I thought that was very interesting. And she's just kind of like, don't look down. Like, I'm not looking at that. No way. Because it was just like very eerie. So it's like at one point it describes like mothers looking for children that don't remember their name anymore. And it's just like very dark and depressing. Basically underneath that water.
Did you ever see the Disney movie Coco?
I've never actually seen Coco.
Oh my God, it's really good.
I've heard it's great.
Anyway, in Coco, the dead are remembered. That's why they have like this Day of the Dead, and they have all their photos up and they tell the stories. In the afterlife, as long as your family remembers you on the Day of the Dead, they can cross over and visit, but their family can't see them, but they can like float around and like see their family and just like see how they're doing.
Yeah.
But people who aren't remembered can't. And so they're stuck behind and after a certain amount of time, they disappear from the afterlife.
Jeez.
And so that's kind of what it makes me think of when they're like kids who don't remember their mother's names and stuff. It's so like sad. It is, but it's a really good movie. It's really good. I promise. Jeez. You'll cry like happy tears. I promise.
I'm not ready for that yet.
That's fine. It's a Disney movie. It'll rip your heart out.
Of course. Well, that's what Disney movies are supposed to do.
Anyway.
So then from there, she eventually gets to shore, and then she goes exploring into the palaces there. And while she is exploring, she ends up, just so happens to find Persephone's chamber, and she's sleeping. Just so happens to be sleeping in her chamber.
No challenge at all, by the way. She just like gets there and goes in.
Just walks in. No three-headed dog, nothing.
There's nothing in her way. She just like gets there.
Yeah. There was just a stroll. And then she just kind of kneels and like tries to wake her up very gently because she's like, oh, I'm waking up a god.
Yeah, she's literally like, I'm so sorry, my goddess.
I'm like,
but if you could just wake up.
I was like, could you please wake up? And so she wakes up and she's like, hello.
You shouldn't be here.
Yeah. It's like, what are you doing here? And so Psyche's like, I was sent by Aphrodite. And she was like, the box.
She gets up and just goes and gets it. She's like, all right.
The box. And then shows her to where like she needs to go and just like explains to her that the box is protected not by any guards or anything like that. It's basically by the searcher's own seduction. So like basically like
her largest temptation.
yeah, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Basically like you're going to be like so tempted
To not grab it.
to not grab the box. And so Psyche is just kind of like, bet, and then goes.
Bet.
And basically is tempted with each step that she gets there, to the point where like you could tell like it seemed like she was gonna fold, and she was just kind of like, nope, gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
And then she ends up getting the box and just again walks back, and then Persephone's like, you have a strong soul. Good luck, girly.
Yeah, and then she leaves.
And then she's out of there. Yeeting. But then after she actually gets the box, she ends up sitting under the moon and the stars. And while she has the box, as she thinks about the trials, she thinks about the box, and she also thinks about how part of Persephone was in there, and she was kind of like almost in her mind trying to figure out what it was. Is like, oh, like, would this help my healing? Would this, like, what part of her, like, just trying to figure out, like, what part of Persephone is actually in this box. But while also doing that, she was thinking about, like, making choices for her, like, if she were to make choices, she needs to make choices for herself in order to almost, like, be worthy of
Eros's
love. So essentially choosing for herself what's next rather than being told what to do, like she has her entire life, essentially. And so she's just like, fuck it, I'm gonna open the box.
Yeah, it's such a leap.
Yeah.
She goes through all these trials.
I know.
Doesn't give in to temptation. No particular reason is given that she should want to open the box. And like, there's nothing even an inkling that she should. Like, if there was, like, something that was, like, if Persephone had been like, you have such a strong soul and what's in that box, you know, could help you. Or something, like, doesn't have to be that obvious, but, like,
some form of, like, comment or lead up, because it was literally, like, she went through all this and it was like, fuck it.
Yeah, truly. That is actually how I read it. I was like, I think I had my Kindle and I was like, what? I had to like read it again. I was like, hold up. You sort the grains, you walk to hell, you wake up a goddess, you avoid temptation, you grab the box, find your own way out, and you go, what's in here? What? With no particular reason in mind. Just that she's like, I'm choosing to fail.
Yeah. I read and I was just like, okay, you made the choice.
Yeah, that's all she's doing is making a choice. She could have made the choice to give it to Aphrodite.
Yeah. And who knows what would have happened after that. We'll see. But
yeah.
But
so she opens it.
So she opens it, and at first she's like, nothing's in here. And then this like gold mist just like comes up and basically like goes all around her body, and it goes like up her dress, and it touches her, and I'm like, it actually sounds like she's having a great time while this gold mist is going all over her body, because it's basically almost arousing her as this is happening.
Awakening her.
Essentially, yes. That is exactly what's happening.
It's a golden awakening. Talk about a golden shower.
And so...
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
But like,
can you imagine it's Aphrodite's pee?
Persephone's pee.
You're right. I'm sorry.
It's a part of Persephone.
I bet it is. Go on.
Anyway, but like while this gold mist is like going all over her, she's basically thinking about her time with Eros and like the love and the trust and the desire and like everything happening without shame, basically. Mm-hmm. And that was like the whole point. Like it was just, like she was thinking about all the things that happened with Eros, and she's like, no shame in any of this. Like she's just like, this is what, this is it. Mm-hmm. And then she noted while the gold mist is happening, and she is like reflecting back on Eros, she also feels herself changing, and she's just like, I'm becoming more, but I don't think she essentially knows what's happening yet. And then she just lies down under the moon and stars, and her body just goes still. And it's like her body,
Night.
and it says like her body goes heavy. And what I pictured was like, you know, when like at the end of a yoga class where they tell you to take deep breaths and to like melt into the floor.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like, that's what I pictured, just that melt into the floor feeling is kind of like.
I pictured the spinning wheel. I was like, she dead.
she gone.
Like when Maleficent's like, prick it now.
Prick it.
That's what I mean. Yours probably makes more sense. I was just like, girl is in a coma of magic variety.
Probably the best sleep of her life.
Probably. Especially as she wakes up.
And then it ends up moving to Eris's peanut.
Yes. Go on.
It ends up moving to Eris's POV.
Point of view. Uh-huh.
Is what I tried to say.
We've all been there. It's good. I liked it.
Went to his penis.
That's all what we were hoping for.
And it turns out like he's watching the whole thing. He's watching the whole thing happen as she's like doing her change and everything like that. And he's watching her transform. And
so what's not obvious to me, but after rereading it, I was like, so when she sees him, basically the test that he didn't do with the pig, he did with himself on her.
Yeah.
And so when she looked at him, she failed. So he had to leave her even though he didn't want to. So he left and has been tortured this whole time being apart from her and has been watching, basically waiting for his mom to do these trials so he can maybe get her back.
The one thing, I have this as like something to change and stuff like that. But I would have liked to seen a little bit more back and forth so that we could see, because it kind of just like jumps from like yeet, bye to like to now. And I kind of wish we had a little bit more back and forth where like you could see you could feel his distress during that time, or like him trying to watch during the trials. Like I would have liked to see more of that from him, because when he's in the scenes you can feel it, but I felt like we could have had it where like there was even just like a tiny glimpse where it was like a couple lines of being like, and he's watching her, and like that was something that I wish could have happened throughout the book, because I felt like it was just like yeet, and then like him being like, he's been distressed all this time.
Yeah, because we don't hear from him, and she's going through all these trials, and then bam.
Yeah.
Here he is.
There he is. And it kind of made me, I'm not going to lie, when he came back, I was like, you piece of shit, I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah.
It's kind of how I felt.
Because you don't know.
Yeah, because we don't, and that's the thing, you don't know. So then when he comes back, I'm a little angry because I'm like, why didn't you come back? And then you read and you're like, okay, I get it. All right.
I'll save my thing that I would change.
Okay.
Cool.
Cuckoo. But yeah, it turns out like, so he's watching her transform, and he is thinking about how others have kind of tried, but they haven't tried in the way that she's done it, where she like basically chooses it herself.
And she fully surrenders to whatever it is.
Yeah. But like he's seen people like go through this transformation before, and a lot of them have never succeeded. And so he is very worried about her during this time, and so he starts walking, because he's at the edge of the field, but then he's walking over to her, and then ends up going to hover, like basically hover over her and be like, are you alive? Are you good? And actually like hovers his hand over her and is just kind of like, okay, just to confirm that she's alive and that she's turning into the divine. And then like, so that is happening, but like during this whole scene, I felt Twilight as she's transforming. And then he fully pulls out a Snow White. And then like kisses her, and from that her breath like hitches. But like this kiss is like he's kissing her in like fully need and being like, I want you, I want everything with you and all this kind of stuff, and not like not expectation for her, but like just like, hey, I'm here, I love you, like you can do this kind of thing. Basically that's what the kiss was. And then because of that kiss, she has like a little, her breath ends up hitching after he kisses her, but it's like ever so slightly. So like it could probably easily be missed if he wasn't like right there. And then like she's like very slowly coming back. Mm-hmm. And then Eros is holding her and he's begging her to return to him. And like she's finally starting to return and like she gasps. She's like
Excellent. Very nice. Very nice.
And basically, and then she looks up and like looks at Eros, who is just a complete utter mess, just being like, please come to me. Like, I love you. Like, just like, I pictured like snot and tears.
Yeah, dude's upset.
Like, dude is just like destroyed, just trying to make sure that she is coming back kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like, and then they have a moment of relief when she and then she has a moment of relief and they're together, but then all of a sudden she feels a tug at her shoulder. What do you think's on her shoulders?
Stupid.
Wings!
So dumb. What is this, Thumbelina?
Yes. Blue translucent wings with gold veining.
Yeah.
Basically gold piping on her wings.
Piping.
That's what I pictured.
Icing princess. Dumb. So stupid. I read that, I was like, this is dumb.
It was just kind of like, wings?
Not necessary.
But there's wings.
She could have been divine, so she becomes divine. She becomes a goddess.
She becomes divine, but like she looks at the wings and she's like, what happened?
She's like, I'm fine.
And he was like, you chose yourself and you made yourself divine.
Now I'm a flying talking donkey.
Basically. Which now makes her the goddess of the souls.
She's the goddess of the souls, yeah. She's now a made goddess through Persephone's divinity.
Cuckoo. She said, and then like she says that she finally feels like her true self. Like this is what she's been longing for all this time. And I was like, okay, Bella.
Honestly.
Like again, this entire scene, I was like, where you been, Loca?
Loca. Oh, man.
But yeah, finally feels like herself. And then Aphrodite shows up and she's like, you didn't break.
How dare you?
And Psyche is like, disappointed. And then she's like, mildly, but even the gods can be surprised sometimes.
Not the Aphrodite we know.
Eros gets defensive and she's basically like, relax. If I wanted her dead, she'd be dead.
He's like, good point.
And then A like inspects them and sees the wings and is just kind of like, she made herself a divine. And then
divine.
And then she's like, I should hate it. And then Eros is just kind of like, but you don't? And she's like, and then like she kind of looks at her and like the way Psyche sees it is like not looking, Aphrodite isn't looking at her like she has been looking at her with like like meanness. It's like very much like more chill now. And she's like, it's fine. And she's just kind of like, she's just kind of like, no, she earned it. You're not what I expected, basically. And then all of a sudden she touches Psyche's brow just above her eyebrows. And it's just kind of like, basically is like, my son's heart is yours. Like, treat it well or some shit like that.
Be good.
Be good.
Be good girl.
And
love
basically,
my boy.
and then Psyche is just kind of like, I know what it's worth. I won't be mean. Like, basically,
yeah.
I'm in love with your son, basically, is what she says.
Yeah.
And then Aphrodite, like, basically just vanishes. But as she's vanishing, her voice lingers. And she's like, find something to do with your immortality and not be boring. And boy, they find a way not to be boring. And then it fast forwards them showing up back at Eros's palace. And it's different than what it was before. It's a lot happier, very much Beauty and the Beast, where everything is singing, everything is happy, everything feels good. She feels seen. The silence is her sanctuary, like all that fun stuff. And then like they walk past the bedchamber, and he was just kind of like, You saw me when you weren't supposed to. Will you see me now that you're allowed? And I was like, okay.
Stupid.
And then her response, she doesn't actually respond. She just walks in the room, takes off her clothes, and then they make a godly love where these two souls come together.
Large.
And it ends, seen, claimed, and transformed.
Correct.
And that's the end. The end. That's the end.
There's so much wrong with this section.
There was a lot of like, fuck it. There was
there is no lead up or understanding between everything. It's just like, oh, he's gone, falls from sky. Aphrodite's like, here's a trial. Let me get to this. Okay. All right. So there's a box that I'm going to get you to go get. And she's like, okay, great. And she's like, yeah, so it's not Persephone's. And she's like, well, I'm going to die if I just like go to hell. And she's like, no, she knows about it. You're cool. What? What do you mean she knows about it?
You're a good girl.
Yeah. So then she's like, all right, I'll just walk to hell. And it's like, okay, like Orpheus tried that. Like, it's not that easy, but whatever. So she gets to just walk into hell, even though Orpheus loses his fucking true love. Pardon my language. So whatever. So she's in hell, gets there, and Persephone just cool with it and gives her the spot to the box. Again, I'm annoyed because she puts in all this stupid effort, doesn't give in to any of the temptations, which, by the way, would have been a great opportunity for some sort of smutty scene within the trials. But whatever. Gets the box and just walks out and then opens it.
Yep.
It didn't correlate at all to me. Like, her personality just flipped.
Yeah.
Like, in that moment, she was just like, and now I will rebel. Even though I'm this close to doing the trial. Because she doesn't know she's going to get anything good out of it. She just decides to open it. There's no teasing. There's no, like, anything. And it bothers me. The other thing that bothers me is Eros just like not there until he's there, and you don't get it until after. And I feel like because at the beginning of the book, Eros and Aphrodite have a conversation, after Psyche looks at Eros, the next scene or next chapter should be Eros and Aphrodite having a conversation.
Yeah.
It should be Eros being like, no, I need to go back to her. I want to be with her. And Aphrodite being like, little boy, she needs to learn this lesson.
Yeah. That was that piece.
I'll take care. You just stay and watch. If she's worthy of you, I'll take care of it.
Yeah. That was definitely that was a piece that was missing for me. I wish there was that little bit of back and forth where you knew that he was wanting to get back for her, yearning for her, and like trying to find a way to get back to her. And Mom is just kind of like, got this.
Because it's like completely glazed over the fact that he didn't fulfill her wishes.
Yeah.
So it's like this could have literally been a chapter added right after that where he's freaking out because he wants to be with her because he's been arrowed, and Aphrodite's like, no, she's unworthy of you, and I'll prove it.
Yeah.
I'll prove it with these trials, and if she doesn't pass them, you got to deal with it. And I think that would have brought this all together a little bit better.
Yeah.
That being said, like I liked the book. I rated it quite well. But I just thought these things teased at my brain a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it was like, if like you as a person who doesn't know any mythology, that's a difficult thing to read.
For me, it was so like in the like I would have liked more details on certain things. Mm-hmm. And I would have liked to know, just because like it does throw me off when and it's happened with like the previous two books where it just kind of jumps. And again, she's writing this expecting you to know the lore already,
or at least some of it.
And I'm like, I know shit. Again, my thing was Xena Warrior Princess, and
okay, also great though.
Fantastic.
Excellent reference point.
And I haven't seen that in years. And also the Hercules, I did watch the Hercules TV show. Again, haven't seen it in years. Like,
they have
probably
crossover episodes.
They do. They have a cartoon movie too. Did you ever watch that? The cartoon movie?
I think so. I think I've seen it all. It's good. Phenomenal.
But anyway, so like I know people's names, but I don't necessarily know the stories.
It'd be like watching the Hercules cartoon.
Yep.
If you don't really know what's going on.
Nay. But yeah, just having like that slight more detail, so for someone like me that doesn't know anything can just learn as I go.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of my notes are like, as Shawn Ask Shawn.
No, it's just Ask Stephanie.
I could ask her too.
Actually, she'd probably know a lot more than I do. Blood of Hercules, she hated because the mythology is wrong, like very incorrect. And I was like, it's nice. And she's like, no. That's one of the books where Heron, it's spelt with a K, right? And the main female character calls him Karen to bother him. He hates it. And she's like, all right, Karen. He's like, where's Heron? So good.
Listen to me.
I'm hot, I'm tall, I'm gonna sleep with you later. My name's not Karen. Anyway.
Did you find this ending satisfying?
No.
I had to ask.
She should not have wings. Stupid.
I thought that part was hilarious. The wings. I was like, I don't think she has wings.
I don't mean maybe. I don't remember that as a thing, but it's just silly fluff. Dumb because he has wings. She has to have wings. Give her a tail. Fuck it. It bothered me. I was like, this is stupid. Just add it because he has wings. And then I needed the connection between how all of this worked because Aphrodite comes out and she's just like, all is well. You have now earned my son. But none of us understand why you even gave her trials.
Yeah.
Like, you wanted her punished. So why are you just like, here's a box of divinity. Don't open it. Like, the best part was the glitter dust. I liked it. Yeah, just like taking over her body. Tingle, tingle, tingle.
Tickle, tickle.
Did you find this ending satisfying?
I was more so just like entertained by the ending because it was entertaining.
It was like normal story, unhinged, crazy.
Again, like I was just kind of like, what in the twilight is this?
Oh my god. Is he Jacob or Edward? I think he's Edward.
He's Edward. Oh, are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
Bella wouldn't go that far for Jacob.
Who said she's Bella?
Judy.
Okay. Fair enough, madame. So you were fine. You were like, whatever. Ty was satisfied.
I wasn't mad.
I wasn't mad.
It wasn't it was the type of ending where like it was fine. It was entertaining, but like, and I would say like yes in the sense that like again it was entertaining, but I wasn't like pissed off at the ending or anything like that because at the end of the day I don't know shit.
You're still allowed to have an opinion even when you don't know everything.
Yeah, but yeah,
that's how I live my life.
It was a very fluffy ending. Although the one thing that does bother me at the end of a lot of spicy books is when they decide to have a huge bang session right at the end and that's how the book ends. That always bothers me.
It bothers me too.
Because I think at that point when they finally get together, it's like, I just want them to live happily ever after and I don't give a shit about another bang session.
Yeah, and something about that bothers me, and I don't know if like it's my own internal thing, but it makes the whole relationship physical, which I get that it's smut. I do get that. But like it takes away from any depth that the author has created for the couple, in my opinion.
I think authors tend to put that in because it's like, oh, it's a time where they can be together when they're finally like they finally know that they can be together for real and this is the happily ever ending. Yeah. But I find that it takes it away for me. Mm-hmm. And yeah,
I think they need to add something after it then. Yeah. Like if you want to add another scene where they're like finally able to be together because that's like the way the story went, then you almost need to have another chapter.
That's the thing. If something were to happen after I know even if it was like in some other books, sometimes they do an epilogue afterwards, but like I know like her epilogues have like the muses, which I really enjoy.
Yeah, I like the muses. Sing us a song.
So don't replace those. But like something after instead of being like, and then they came the end.
Well, like epilogues are good too. Like in Bridgerton, they write, some people hate this, but the author has like chapters of years later.
Yeah. I like that.
So I also don't mind that some people hate it. I think that's a really cute thing. I think ending a book on a smutty scene, it doesn't feel satisfying for me. So like if it's going to have a smutty scene because they finally get to be together, then like the next
have something after.
Yeah, like what's happening with them the next day, the next week, like something that wraps the story up, if it's the ending, in a way that doesn't leave you with their whole relationship as just this one physical connection. Like,
Yeah.
this is supposed to be a love story that's steamy. So,
That's my little thing about it.
I agree.
The end of the book.
do you have a favorite scene in the whole book, like of the whole book?
Because it's not what you expect. So my favorite scene, honestly, is just like Psyche going to Aphrodite's temple and just kind of being like, bet, I'm gonna do it. Like, I want to fight for this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it was just, I was like, oh, you got a little spice in you. You're gonna do something else.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
That is a good scene.
I do like that. That's my favorite scene. You?
I love when Eros nicks himself. Honestly, I think it's very funny and also adorable.
Again,
like love kindles in his soul.
I fully picture it as
Him shooting himself in the foot.
Yeah.
That is adorable.
I think that would be hilarious. And then, yeah, we've already talked about like what we would change and stuff like that. Is there anything else you would change?
No, like for the most part, I think it follows the mythology pretty well. I was just really frustrated by that, just that like one little
I know.
itty bitty bit.
Again, it cracked me up. I was just kind of like, yeah, sure.
Which is fine. Like, it's good. Like, it's fine that it cracks you up. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
It's just that in this particular book series, I was like, why?
Least favorite character, Aphrodite, just because.
Her sisters,
Ooh, that's a good one.
they're awful.
They are awful.
Like, I hated them. Like, fair
Fuck
enough.
it, I changed my mind.
I've changed your mind for you?
Yeah,
Oh, Jesus.
I think because that they were so small into the book, I just like was like, whew.
But they're the whole reason that
Yeah.
she, like...
That's true. Yeah, the sisters, they suck.
I hate, like, they equally... And the thing is, like, I know it's least favorite character, but they are basically one character.
Yeah. They
just have two so they can play off each other.
Basically, yeah. Favorite quote?
Okay. Oh, man. I have a couple.
Yes.
I loved Eros, the god of love, fell not from grace nor from Olympus, but from the quiet, divine safety of never having known what it meant to need.
That's good.
Adorable. And then I also had let them have the silence. It was the only thing that belonged to her.
That's so good.
I know.
Her writing, like the way she describes things, and like this is also the thing about her writing. It could be a small section, but there is so much detail that it's hard to pick what to mention and not to mention, because it's all, for the most part, it's all necessary. Like, there are some people that like just throw in detail for the sake of it, and you're just kind of like, yeah, okay, yeah, sky
Enough to buy.
Yeah. yeah, sky is blue and clouds are white, blah blah.
Yeah.
But like the intention of the writing for like the little details and to really make this story what it is, I'm like, like I want to read, like,
we love Cleo Calloway. We don't have an argument for that.
No, I just want to read all of her writings just because I just love the way she writes.
Well, we have the fairy tale retellings as well if we want to do them.
Oh, I might. We should.
I'm not against it. Not to pull you from your favorite quote, but I just want to tell you this. The other day I was with a book girl that I just met, and we were talking book stuff, and we were talking about life, and she works in HR, and she was like, oh yeah, like, you know, people think it's so great, but like, it has its own, you know, issues. I'm like, every job does. I'm like, life's a cage, man, and you just choose your bars. And I looked at her and went, that's such a good line for a book. And she was like,
did you write it in your phone quickly?
Yes, I did. I did. I was like, ooh, I'm going to use that. I felt so good about it. Anyway.
I like it.
Thank you. I will be using it probably in my next novella. But I was like, that is so good.
That's a good line. I like that.
I want somebody in some podcast in some other country listening to my books.
And being like, you know what my favorite line was?
Anyway, what was your favorite quote, since I don't know? I'm not going to guess, apparently. It's funny, obviously.
Look at me, he said. Though the room was cloaked in darkness, his voice trembled with need. Even if you can't see, look.
I know, dumb. Oh, that's a favorite. You love it.
It's so funny. I could not stop laughing. And even throughout when I was like saving lines that I liked, I could not stop thinking about it because I'm like, dude, I can't see you.
Look into my soul. See me here, Tyler. Here in my depths.
I didn't read it that way. Clearly.
I like it.
But like, it just like I
like it.
look at me. Look at me.
I can't.
I can't see you. Invisible man. Oh my gosh.
Look at her crying. I love it.
It just I usually go for the more sentimental ones, but
I
like,
went all sweet this time.
yeah, I
like
usually
it.
like I love all of her sweet quotes, but I just could not stop thinking about that one. I was like, I gotta save it. Emotional moment in the book for you.
For me, it's when she's like walking to the altar or to die.
Yes.
Yeah, like her basically having her internal monologue about how she's like accepting of it and even like looking forward to the peace and like letting it go.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, my poor cherub.
Because yeah, I had the two. So I had that one, and then I had Eros just like being a bubbly mess and destroyed.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't sure what was going to happen, like just worried about her and stuff like that. And I could feel it when he was there.
Aw, yeah.
And it was just kind of like, oh, I was mad at you, but now I'm sad for you.
I was mad at you, but now I forgive.
Yeah. Alrighty. What are 3 things that you loved about the book?
I loved how close it was to the original mythology. Like, it was pretty darn spot on.
That's good.
So I was like, that's pretty awesome. I really liked Psyche's like internal monologuing and character development, like how she speaks inside her own mind. I was very much like interested in and liked. And on the opposite side, I like how well Cleo wrote how terrible her sisters are.
Yes.
Like, I hated them, but like I hated them in the way that she wrote it well.
Yeah.
Not like I hate Michael Scott. I just, no, that's awful. Like, I hated them because she wrote them so well, in my opinion. How about you, Ty?
So for me, the number one is always going to be how Cleo Calloway writes her characters and sets the scene in every detail, knowing, like, just bringing the story to life.
Yep.
I had Psyche. I loved Psyche and the changes that she made throughout the book, while also in like starting to make her choices and stand up for herself more and fighting for what she wants.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And then I felt the yearn from Eros. Like I felt the emotion and like.
You think the yearn was written well? You felt.
I felt it from him when he was in the scenes. I would have liked more of it.
Yeah.
And that's where I was just kind of like, that's what I wanted. I wanted more. Again, while she was doing the trials and stuff like that. And then, okay, this one thing I did hate.
Okay.
See, already leaking for you. I was like, that's a hate. Hate,
that's
double hate.
Loathe entirely.
Exactly.
I'm here for you.
And then the other thing was the amount of space of the in-between that we did not have from Eros.
Yeah, dislike. Yeah, I agree.
Because it made me feel frustrated with him because I'm like, girl's working hard.
Yeah, and there's nothing.
And there's like nothing, not even like a sign showing that he's like there for her or anything like that. And it's not until after. And I understand like once we actually see him again, you feel for him again. But I just wish we got to see that little bit because a part of me was just like, stupid God, just fucked right off.
I know, it's so rude.
And then, would you recommend this book?
So this is one of those ones where, like, technically, yes, I would recommend it. However, it's a difficult read if you haven't already touched the series. I get these are interconnected standalones, but, like, for me, it's a tough one because things jump around a lot in this one, and having zero understanding of the lore is tough.
Yeah.
Is tough. So I would recommend it for people who, if you like just her writing style, you'd enjoy it regardless, but those things jumping around might frustrate some people.
I had it as if you're already reading the series, but then also I had it as if you are somebody that likes Greek mythology and want to start getting into retellings with a little bit of spice.
I think that's, I would agree with that.
Yeah. If you're somebody that enjoys Greek mythology and you want to start getting into retellings, this is, and you
Great
also
choice.
like a little bit of spice, it's a nice, simple way of dipping your toe into the water.
Because, I wouldn't call these overly spicy.
They're not.
Like, I would go, like, 2-3 pepper tops.
Yeah, I think I had 2.25.
Yeah.
Pepper.
What did you rate it? I didn't even ask.
I had a 4.
Me too. Oh my God, we tied.
We tied.
Whoa.
Just like, and it's a high 4 for me. Whereas like the last book was a 4, but it was a lower 4. Like, do you do this in your brain too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. But I was like, how does she know?
My brain goes like, there's like
There's 4 and there's 4.
Yeah. Whereas like,
There's still 4.
I love it and it's a 4, but it's a 4, and then it's like, it's a 4.
Yeah, I agree.
And I
It's
had
weird
it,
that there's
it's a 4.
There's 4s that are different 4s, but they're still 4s.
Yeah. That's my 4. It's a 4.
I would say I'm a 4.
Yeah.
I'm a 4.
Nothing will ever beat the first book.
It was really well done.
Yeah.
I would be interested to see if they're like, I think that Psyche and Arrows could have been like a closer had they done a couple teeny tweaks.
Yes.
And didn't give her wings.
And did not give her wings.
That's stupid.
But yeah. I rated it a 4 and it was 2.25 peppers for me, which is very vanilla.
I would call it vanilla personally as well.
It would have been just 2 for like vanilla, but then they had more of the like teach me stuff. And so that's where the 0.25 came in for me. I was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Girl's doing her best with her creativity between each book, right?
Yeah.
Mixing it up. I think that's everything in regards to Of Shadow and Soul.
Yes, I believe that's all of our questions and all of our like review stuff.
I believe so.
And I think we've said, I feel good.
We've said it all.
Yeah, we've done it all.
We will be reading a recommendation from a friend. So Chandra has insisted we read this book called Tumbled, Taken by the Horny Washing Machine by Sky and Philomena McKinnon. They didn't have the summary on Goodreads, but I have it on on her website.
Oh, okay.
One lonely washer dryer, one exhausted woman with a dirty duvet, one laundrette lock-in with extra rinse. My God, Chandra. After the worst day of her life, Mara wants to clean bedding. Her ex took the sofa, the microwave, her favorite mug, and because apparently there is no bottom to male audacity, the washing machine. Then her cat peed on the only duvet cover she had left. So yes, Mara ends up in a cheap laundrette, I think that's like a laundromat, at closing time. Exhausted, broke, one minor inconvenience away from losing her mind, she does not expect to fall asleep. She definitely does not expect to wake up locked inside. And she really, really does not expect the washer-dryer holding her laundry hostage to start talking. His name is Dex. He became sentient 2 days ago, thanks to a dodgy smart upgrade and a phone full of romance novels. He's lonely, bored, absurdly attentive, and far too interested in her delicates. Mara should be scared. She should keep her distance. She should not be flirting with a commercial appliance who understands consent better than most men and has very strong opinions about detergent. But Dex says she deserves to be cared for. Dex says he can make her feel better, and Dex has a setting for everything. Tumbled is a filthy, funny, sentient object romance featuring a lonely washer-dryer, forced proximity, praise, vibrations, premium detergent, and a very tired heroine, and enough extra rinse to ruin laundry day forever. Oh God! I've never read this ahead of time.
Neither did I. I just saw the cover and was like, all right.
Oh my God! I see you have the details.
Yes. So it is. I can't get over this. It is 87 pages, but when I looked it up, it's actually 74. So I already have our sections written out for us. So 0 to 25, 26 to 51, 52 to 74. And then it's available on Kindle Unlimited and paperback on Amazon.
It's also $3 for the digital if you don't have unlimited.
True.
It's really cheap.
Super cheap. And then ratings, average rate. Oh gosh, I forgot about this. It is 3.93 star average, but only has 44 ratings and 22 reviews when I wrote it down before.
It's at 47 and 23, so you're pretty much bang on.
Yeah. And
of course, that rating is Chandra.
And I just wrote that this morning, so a couple more just
popped
up today.
I guess so.
Damn, okay.
I'll be reading it.
But yeah.
Oh my Lanta. I am hoping Counted by Produce vibes would be nice, like energy, but like it's only one. It's not even a male character machine.
I don't know how it's going to work. I am it's the tomato all over again. What's going to happen here?
I think there's going to be orifices open available. If it's a washer dryer unit, there's going to be like vents, vibrations, water involved, possibly disconnecting a hose.
Do you think Sky and Philomena are sisters writing this?
Or maybe they're partners. Maybe they're like a married partnership.
Curious.
Same last name. I don't know if I'd write a smutty book with my sibling.
That's why I was curious.
I could write one with my husband.
I guess that's fair. No, I just saw the same last name and automatically went to sisters.
Maybe.
But that's just...
I mean, it might be fun. I don't know. I guess what's the big deal? I don't know.
But yeah, I'm very curious.
Y'all don't want to miss this, I don't think.
No. I'm going to read through this very quickly.
The cover is a washing machine with pink laundry just spinning away inside and a little heart on the bottom of the machine. And it just says tumbled across the top in like bubbly letters.
If you're on YouTube, I will post a picture of the cover for us.
Outside of that, we hope you have a great day.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next Tuesday.
Bye! And that's today's episode of Plot Twisted Spicy,
where a short book once again caused long conversations.
If you love this novella,
or if you're still processing what just happened between the sheets,
make sure you follow, rate, and leave us a review.
Because your validation fuels our chaos.
We'll be back with another fast read.
And absolutely unhinged opinions.
Until next time, stay spicy.